Hi, this is Renan Joran, and I'm going to walk you through this check sheet for a factory visit, okay? And I'm going to assume you want to buy some electromechanical products and you're visiting a toy contract manufacturer, all right? So here, the basic information, right? So factory name, when did you visit them, when they started, is it a subsidiary of a bigger company, percent of their production that is exported, and to what countries mainly. Busy season, that's important because if their busy season is when you will need some production from them, then you have to sort of compete with their other customers. Whereas if you will need a lot of production from them when it's their low season, that's going to be much easier proposition. And so these typically toys, okay, for Christmas. So that's when they get very busy. Okay, main products. Let's say they make electrical toys. Okay, so this is a very, very basic information. Then I'll get back to the comments later, but this takes you through several topics, right? So first, what do they do? What kind of manufacturing processes do they do in-house? Okay. Then you look at the fundamentals of good manufacturing. Okay. Not just talking to them, asking questions, etc., but looking a little bit, asking some specific questions, looking at some signs that they know what they are doing when it comes to manufacturing. Okay. A lot of factory visits really gloss over that, and it's a pity. Then quality management system. Yeah, there are a few things you should at least look at. Then I also added two things. Product design. So can you rely on them to do a part of the product design work? Okay, product design and development work. And also the NP, new product introduction / industrialization. Okay, so that means can they actually do all the work of going from an approved prototype? So it's possible to make one product that works well, looks good, etc., to mass production, high quantity production, right? And there's a lot of things for electromechanical products that are designed from scratch. There's a lot of things here. Okay, so their ability to actually plan for it and execute for it. And at the end, of course, put some photos. It's always good to remind you and show your colleagues, etc. Photos actually convey a lot of information in a factory visit. Okay, so just gonna go quickly through it. So assembly, testing, packaging. Okay, how many lines, how many operators, basic information. Plastic injection molding, do they do that in-house? Maybe they have whatever, maybe they have 5 machines from 90 ton to 260 ton. Okay, make relatively small plastic parts. Okay. PCB assembly, so how many SMT lines do they have? Automated optical inspection machines, X-ray, do they have an X-ray machine, at least one, for going deep into issues and root cause analysis, etc. Okay, what else do they do? Total number of operators, total all together. Production operators does not include people in the office. Okay. Recent investments. Okay, so for example, 2 recently installed SMT lines. Okay, so they pay a lot of attention to PCB assembly. Now, of course, if they also do a DIP, some other things, you can just add some extra comments here, right? Cleanliness and organization, maybe it's a bit messy in final assembly. Transparency about key subcontracted processes suppliers. Okay, in that case, kind of typical, you ask, okay, that specific supplier, who do you work with? Can we go have a look? And they say, not really. Okay, that's a problem. No transparency here. So that means higher risk for you. If there are issues, you cannot really go and have a look at what's really happening. You cannot help actually fix the issues. Okay, fundamentals for good manufacturing. So staff training, very important. So look into it. If you have a bit of manufacturing experience, this should be pretty quick. Production operators, the turnover, how are they paid? If it's by piece, it's really, really a bad sign. preventive maintenance of the equipment? Do they have a plan? How try to estimate a little bit, to evaluate it. Like, for example, yeah, they have something that's just like morning cleaning and blah blah blah. But where's the whatever stencil cleaning, and what about the for the reflow oven? Okay, nothing. Well, that's insufficient, right? And then the record, if it's just tuk 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 tuk, is pencil whipping. It's not really going through it one by one. Process control also important, and the qualification of the suppliers, right? Do they have a proper process for qualifying them? Do they actually really do proper audits on them and follow up and push them to improve, etc.? Okay, quality management system, very classic things. In this case, very often, not so often actually. There are a lot of good factories, but a lot of them say, "Oh, this paper is just for ISO." Like, don't check if that's really what we do, but that's how we get the certifications. Not too good. How many inspectors, incoming, in process, outgoing, quality control, quality lab, what do they do? How do they test the components, the finished products, etc.? Sometimes it's very basic, sometimes it's a bit more advanced. Okay, maybe they have specialized equipment, etc. Okay, what kind of KPIs, indicators do they track for their performance to see what the problems are? Very important topic here. Calibration, okay, it's very basic. AQL limits. So that means when they do acceptance sampling kind of inspections, what do they set the bar? Is it relatively high or low? Like, high actually means more relaxed, so not very hard to pass, right? So not a very high bar, let's say. Corrective action plans, ADs, okay, is it systematic? Do they do it regularly? And do they do it really with proper root cause analysis and countermeasures, follow up, etc., etc.? What certifications do they have? Again, might not mean a lot in places like China, but good to write it down. And then the stereotypes. So in this case, they just use documents for ISO to get the certifications, but they don't work in a systematic manner. But some of them might be pretty good, like, took the time to implement a real quality management system. It is effective, means they really work to it. Okay, great. Product design has their ability to actually work on at least a part of a new product design and development. So it gives you some ideas about can they help on the mechanical side, on the electronic side, on the firmware side, etc. What can they do? How, can they make prototypes? Can they test them, and so on and so forth? And then the industrialization, again, do they have a structured process, right? EVT, DVT, PVT, they call that in the consumer electronics industry. In, for example, toy, they just call it ET, DT, and PT, right? So engineering testing, design testing, and production testing is basically go gates where they validate that it's okay to go to the next stage and next stage and next, and then is high quantity production and ramp up, right? So this will ask a few questions, typically just to gauge quickly, okay, including do they do risk analysis on the manufacturing and testing processes? Okay, that was just an example. I hope it's useful, and yeah, anybody can use this form, this factory visit form, to take some notes, and then you write some general comments such as this. And if you do this systematically every time you visit a factory, that's really helpful to help you think through, okay, what are the risks? Is this a suitable supplier? Is this one better than this one? This one much earlier than this one, so maybe we forget. So take some notes, take some photos. It really helps. Okay, thank you again. This was Renaud Joran, and hope you found it useful.